Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and happy Monday. What we're gonna do today, I have actually prepared a couple of lectures, so it can logically link together. So it will help you to move on because now we are moving away from basic and we are going towards intermediate topics in SQL. So I thought it would be better if we can, arrange it in a logical way. So you can, take those steps and improve your SQL and analytics skill. So a couple of things from the tips perspective, which I thought I should cover before we move on to our next topic, which is very exciting. We're gonna discuss the subqueries in our next video, which is another major part, I would say, in writing the analytical script, because once we massage the data, once we prepare the data, there is the we need to break down the load so we can extract the right information, because remember, we are not talking maybe 100,000 rows. Normally, especially with the big data sets, we might have 100 million rows. So the efficiency is to filter out those records which are not needed, and subquery is going to play a big role in there. So that's why we have a dedicated lecture for that, which is very exciting. And I tell you one thing, that in industry you're going to write a lot of subqueries with the joining. So joins and subqueries, these two things merge together to give you the full flexibility to build some really good sound SQL script that can filter, that can extract, that can transform the data for you. And then obviously we have the presentation layer, we have the machine learning algorithm that can actually use those data set to generate the right outcome for the business. But before moving on, let's jump into today's topic. We're going to discuss the alias and order by class. One of the thing that I have actually missed out, that we haven't seen the way how we can sort our record. So we are extracting the information, but most of the time there's a requirement from the business that they want to see the information sorted based on one of the column, right? And the sorting can be on either direction. It can be ascending, means it can be from low to high, or it can be descending, which means the opposite, from high to low. And it's not only based on one column. Sometime we need to we need to show the outcome based on multiple columns. So even imagine the first column, for example, you are sorting out by country, and in the country you want to further sort out by state, right? And in the state you are further sorting out by city or suburb, whatever the pattern you have in your country or state. So that's one of the example that how the sorting come or occur in the business requirement, right? So that's one of the very common scenario we see day on day basis. And I'm going to show you how we can do sorting on single column or multiple column in a similar fashion. So let's start with the alias, and we're gonna see what is the alias and how it actually help us to quickly build our scripts. Let me jump straight into the dev environment. Cool. So we left our last video in here. You can see we have all these inner join, left outer join, right outer join, and full outer join. And then we have seen anti-inner join. But one thing, if you have realized, wherever I'm using my full table name with the schema name. So you can see that's a quite long name, although I know it's a very good practice to use it. But sometime we want to, because if the table and schema name is so long, it would be difficult to me to type it again and again. So that's why we normally assign it a label that is called alias. So for example, what I'm gonna do now, let me just copy this statement and just to show you, we are getting as an inner join, which we have actually built in our last video. We are getting 1.13 million record. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna paste it. And now, instead of, using the fully qualified table name, I'm just going to give it a label called view. And then I'm going to book rating. I'm just going to give it a label called BR. So now you can see all the clauses in my script. They have right strictly brace lines underneath, and because it is now unable to recognize, because we have already assigned our actual table name a label or alias that we can use to extract the column. So all I need to do in this query, just take out the full name like this and just put my label. So now you can imagine how easily we can, replace a very lengthy name with a very small label. Yeah, that's the right one. And then we have the feature mark, table user. Okay, we have the age as well. All right. And I'm just trying to replace all the instances where, so this is coming from BR. Let me replace this one as well. And I think we are good. I know what's the problem in the second line. Let me just finish this and then we'll fix that as well. So there's only one I forgot to remove this. Now we are good. Let me run it again and keep a note. We have 1.13 million records which are returning. So let's see. We run the query and our query is running. By the way, my virtual machine is not behaving since morning. I just need to check what's going on my host machine. So it will return in a while. That should be because the last query was pretty good. I can see there is some process going on the disk level. Okay, come on, finish it off. That's normally working with the virtual machines. Sometimes they just give some really unseen behavior. You might need to stick to that. We don't have a choice because until unless you want to run directly into the cloud, because that's the alternate option. So I can see it is trying to do some sort of processing of something. I think I know what's happened. Sorry, that was my mistake. Now what it does, you can see it actually extract the 146,000 records. And I know why it has done it. So that's good that we have seen that use case in here. Sorry, apology, that's my mistake. Instead of using the user ID from user table, we use it from BR table. So both sides we have the BR. So table is joining to the same table. So you can imagine it's going to actually join the user, which is sitting on one side to the other side. And I don't want to actually call that term. We're going to see it later, which is actually a cross join or Cartesian product. What does it mean? We'll see into its corresponding video. But ignore that. Now there was a logical error in the script, so that's why you can see we have 146 records coming. Now I'm going to run it again. So hopefully it would be quick now. Yeah, it's much better. And now you can see we are getting exactly the same record, 1.13 million. So that's how we use the alias. And now what we are going to do, we are going to use the same thing sorting in this query, because we can see we have equations all the way up and down unarranged. What we're gonna do, we're gonna first arrange it by location, right? And we're gonna see that if we can arrange the location in the ascending order, where the location we're starting with lower letters comes first and the highest at the end. So let's use that. And by the way, if you want if your column is unique between the tables, you don't need to put the alias before your column, because we only need to put before those columns which are common on both sides. So now let me run it. And by default, if you don't specify you want to what kind of sorting you want to do, it will do the ascending, or it will do the ascending order, means that it goes from low to right. So let's see how so you can see null values, they are coming first, because like I mentioned, null values, they are unknown in the system, right? So always consider null as a special character, and that's why you're not gonna see a null in any functionality providing you any particular kind of logic, right? So normally that's why we always convert null. But in this case, what we'll do, we'll just for a time being, we'll just ignore the location, or I'm gonna see where location is not null, right? Because that will help me to show you the proper ascending. So you can see we have dash. So these are the character, because in textual character, the all the special character, they come first, because if I don't want to go towards the ASCII and character charting, love to do it once we go towards the T-SQL and we write the programs, because that's where it's a programming language topic, right? But anyway, you can keep my words that always the character we start with the special, always the text we start with a special character like hyphen plus minus. They always come first, like they have they have the lowest in the ordering. And now let me go. You can see we have all sort of crazy data sitting in our system. And by the way, that's where, if you remember, we discussed, that's where the data scientist or the machine learning engineer, they spend 80% of their time just to to clean the data. Now imagine Kansas dash USA. That doesn't make any sense until unless we remove the trailing spaces or the dot sign, right? So these are the activities we do as part of the data cleaning activity. I just want to show you where it's at. So you can see it's starting from 0, 1, all sort of alphabets are way under the list, right? But that's what the order by clause or sorting does. Let me just do it on the other way around. So how about if we do? So if you want to do the descending order, you just need to use a keyword called DESC that will tell the database engine that the output will come from highest to lowest. So let's see what we're gonna do now. That's much better. At least we can see character Z or Z, whatever you want to call it, that is coming straight on the top, because Z, every letter, every word which is starting from letter Z, that is the highest in the list. So you can see and that's why, and look at how the ordering work. Then once it's collect, and if we have more than one records coming starting with Z, based on the column value, then it's going to look at the next letter. The next one, if it is W, that means, and we don't have X, Y, W, X, Y, Z. If we don't have X, Y, and another Z, then it's going to actually pick the W. And after W, it's going to look at, is there the lower letter than W? Yeah, we have V. So it's going to actually bring the location, which is starting with Z, Z and V, and then the same pattern continues. So that's how the sorting works in the database. But in the nutshell, you can see that that's how we normally sort our data in the ascending and descending order. Now we are pretty good with the location. What we thought, and business let for example, business ask us, can you provide us the location, the data set by location in the descending order, but age within the same location in the ascending order. So for example, right now we can see we have our data nicely sorted, but age is still, coming, whatever records come first, there is no arrangement in the age. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put the age column, and that's it, because I'm going to sort the arrange in the ascending order. So let me now run it, and we'll see how it works. Excellent. So you can see in that swallow, blah blah blah, Netherlands, we have 22 first, and then that's the next country. Let's look in here, and then you can see again the same pattern, nulls are coming up. And then the good thing, you can see the pattern in here, we have age 14 coming up before age 32, and then the same pattern repeats into lower records. So that's what the ordering by clause and alias work in the SQL language. Hopefully that will give you a good idea. Once you build your script and you want to sort out your output, these are the command. And if you want not to want if you don't want to write the full table name or schema name, you can use the alias to reduce the length of the script. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for our next very exciting topic, subqueries.